Alrighty, I want to do an update here. Hello, world. This is Jose Ken, American Film Star 420. I want to do an update on my twin flame story. Here, talking about Savannah and myself. And if you're listening, sweetheart, I love you. Uh, okay, mm, this is very twin flamish, uh, Savannah and myself, and I'm so grateful because you only live. This is my life. You only have one life to live, and in this life, and in my 40, being 40 in my 40s, meeting the girl that I'm saying is my twin flame, and that's supposed to be like the highest love versus a one night stand, or versus going to the bar, one night. And then leaving with someone you don't really like, screwing them that night, and then never talking to them again. Versus that. So a lifelong bond, uh, a heavy bond versus something light. And so this is supposed to be the heaviest. Um, so want to make an update here, and I'm trying to keep it together because I feel like she kind of might walk in on me. um, like what I've noticed sometimes is that it'll be real easy to make a recording when Savannah's not close by. Like when she's on doing something, like has to do something and it's far or whatever. Not I don't know really far, but occupied. I'm not really sure. Um, but my head will be clear, real clear. The data I'll talk about will be real. Like it'll be old enough, and and um, I'll be able to record it with confidence, and easily, because it's done. It's like I'm not dealing with it no more, so it's easy to see. But right now, I'm still kind of like in it, in her energy, and so I kind of feel like the things I'm saying she can hear. And if I try to dig too deep into like my thoughts, I feel like you know it might interrupt whatever she's got going on because she's so close at the moment. But so this recording is not really as clear as it could be. But I tried to do it um, yesterday and the other day, I think, and I just lost focus. I just started to explain a bunch of stuff, and it wasn't any good. It was like diluted Kool-Aid. So and this is very, like I say, very twin flamish um, because of all the signs that I've gotten, saying, hey, this woman, God is like, and when I say God, I mean like the Father. I mean heaven, the top, from the throne, from the one who sits on the throne, all the way down to the church, and people who are saints and doing good by others, helping people have a good life and doing right by others, and not being wrong to them and taken from them. So those people are God's people. Those are the saints. And so from the Father all the way down to the saints, um, that's what's represented by truth, and love and loyalty in life. So let me see here. I'm plugging this battery in. All right. So this twin flame stuff is ordained by God because it's the greatest love, and love is one of the three uh, the Trinity. One of the three in the Trinity. It's life. Well, they're all equal, but it's life, love, and loyalty. And what loyalty is truth. So, um, okay, so let's put this jacket on here. When I was doing a recording one time, Savannah knocked on the door. I was like, hey. So I was like, I'm still in the PTSD about that. So I'm kind of like expecting her to knock on the door every time I do a recording. But, and if you record a lot, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so love is this is the highest tier of love. And the Father's been letting me know in all these ways, divine, saintly, physical, all the way to the top, that this woman is the woman that is for me. That she's the woman that, according to the twin flame story, this energy was one person, and this is how people are describing it the best way they can. And through God creating this, He said, "I'm gonna make this into two," and it stretched and became two because it was so, like, if somebody had a cup and they was pouring water into a cup and it started overflowing, then they got another cup, like, and then they filled that one up, and then that was enough. And so this one liquid was in two cups. Savannah is one cup, I'm the other cup, and we embody this one liquid. She has some of the liquid, and I have some of the liquid, and and I really just said it like that. She is the half of this liquid, and I'm the other half of the whole portion of this weight of the liquid. So anyway, that was really dorky. The liquid. So check out the track "Liquid" on The Church by the American Pimp Star 420. All right. Okay, so the most recent meeting, and this is for all the people who are in the twin flames and stuff. This is not for people who are like, oh, how does have a one night stand. No, this is some twin flame stuff, and to help give confidence for people who are going through what it feels like to be to share a soul. There we go, with another person, and I didn't know this right away, so that's something else you might not know right away. You have to look into it, be like, oh, this is what's happening. Because Savannah had left and came back and left and came back, and it was like, why is this happening? When we had such a great time. And then, like I was saying in the other records, I first started to approach it mentally, and like what can I look around and tell? What were some signs that I knew that this was deep, other than the really deep feeling that I felt, and I felt that with the other girls, the deepness, but they didn't have all these signs, And then time passed, and I started to pray and get more. I started to get confirmations. So signs is one thing, and confirmations is another. When you say something like, "Hey, I'm going to show up at this time at this place at this time. If this is supposed to work, from this time and this time, Father, will you make this happen?" something like that, and then it'll happen, and then you'll be like, okay, well, I'm doing right, I'm on the right path. So that's what a confirmation is. um, okay, I'll jump right into it. Sorry. Um, so we had a real good meeting. She left, and it was like 3 months down the line. Then she came back. I seen her get off the bus, and I talked to her in the cafeteria, and then uh, a couple of days passed, and and at this point, if you follow the story, I'm committed. At this point, I'm not talking to anyone. Um, I'm taking it into a holy matrimony manner, in a manner like that, to where I know God revealed to me that the actual next step is not for me and her to be together. It's for me to get a divorce. And I'm in the bed every night, at night, and like, oh, Savannah, where are you? Come here, energy. But that's my physical and part mixed with the mental coloring, making a certain color, and being like, manifest. But in actuality, um, like I said, that's changing because God was revealing to me that I need to be clean, in order to have my woman that I already know through signs and confirmations in the best way that it's supposed to be. And it's funny, like, because I believe in fate, and so it's like I'm like role playing or like acting out the steps to what is necessary for what I know is mine, you know. um, so it's very interesting. So when I woke up, when I that night, um, I was thinking about her, and I think, yep, and I was like, because I had seen her 2 days ago, so and she was fresh on my mind, and I could still see her in my mind, like really clear. And one thing I remember about when I woke up that morning is, um, I thought about going down to the community, uh, to the community center, and that's where they feed you and stuff like that. Um, and I was like, well, maybe I should stick around here, and maybe Savannah will come, pop in or whatever. Maybe she'll pop in, and or something like that. I was thinking, and then I was like, well, who's all there at the thing, and and for some or another reason, I kind of felt like uh, there was going to be, let me see here how to put it. For some reason, I felt like, okay, and I've seen my girl around other girls that she thinks is into me. I seen how she acts. I seen how she acts, and she's very nervous, um, holding her tongue type of energy. So, um, I kind of felt like she was catching wind that I was just popular, and in the sense, period, like that, in my own group and blah blah blah. And I felt like, and like I said, the girls were checking me out, and even still now. So it's like sometimes I hadn't seen her, and the doubts will creep in. But then, like, I see people looking at me. I see girls like checking me out. So I'm like, whew, like I'm still attractive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she's not staying away because I'm unattractive. You know what I'm saying? And that's, after all the confirmations and signs, that's a mundane, that's a low thought anyway. But nonetheless, um, um, a low type of vibration. There we go. Coming from that doubt area. Okay, so I smelled a sense of me being popular to the girls, and certain girls getting close. Because, like I said again, and this is jogging my memory, thank you, Lord. My woman is very, uh, she's very, the leash, she has like a leash on me, and it's like, it's a psychic leash. And she can see kind of like when I'm too far out, and she'll pull it back, you know what I mean? And she'll do that by like showing up and at the right time, like right when I'm the dog and I'm sniffing something, and I go over to the person, and they have food, and I'm all on their knee, and they're not my owner. And Savannah's walking me, and right when I get up to the person's knee, before I get to it, she like pulls me back, you know what I mean? So I'm the dog like that, and she's like the owner like that. And it's crazy because I made records like that, saying that, hey, I'm looking for a girl that will own me, you know what I'm saying? And I remade R. Kelly's I'm a flirt, I'm a flirt. I said, I'm your pet, I'm your pet, I'm your pet, you know what I mean? Um, and here I am just saying that, not even thinking that, but remembering it. um, okay, let me see. Um, so my woman's very good at that, at getting in other girls' way from getting to me. Um, and it's really in a sense of pulling me back, um, because it's not like the girls are like charging me, I'm just getting closer and closer to them, and then like, you know, my girl will show up and be like, "Hey, what's up? Back up," you know what I mean? And I'll be like, she'll break it up. There we go. She breaks things up good with me and gets me back on track, And it's weird because it's kind of like it's kind of like right at the exact moment where I need it, It's kind of like on some religious stuff, like Jesus, He'll show up when you need him, He's right on time, And I've related her to Christ as well in the past, um, with this twin flame love, saying that it feels like, she's a real important part of my life, and I just have to imagine and then really to focus, on this actual person. And that's something else. That's something else that I want to say and remind people that this true reality. It's not, and I'm reminding myself because I'm, I have a lot of doubts, and I'm like, well, this is just a cat that it ain't gonna work. This and that. He just likes her, like he liked the last one, blah blah blah. But it's not. It's more. It's more signs, and I still haven't got into this last meeting, but it's more signs. It's more there. It's more to it than just a doubt. When this is real, then it's something. If anything happens to it, it's tragic, and that's your real reality of what happened. I'm really We really met. Out of all the girls I've ever been with and met, I really and truly met Savannah. Like, that's amazing to me. Like, I really and truly, and I said that in other records, we really and truly held each other, kissed. You know what I'm saying? It's like and that ain't even the point. But the point is that the greatest love that I could possibly have actually happened to me. And whether it is what stage it's in, or whatever the status is, it actually happened. And I think that's so amazing, and that's how all the other twin flame people should be thinking. It's like if you actually met someone, that you think that's one. Okay, now look for the signs. Okay, now pray for confirmation. Is this right? Is this what I think it is? And you get all this, and the only thing there is like some doubt every now and then. It's like, and you're at the knowing part. That's amazing. That is amazing. And I've been with a lot, and and I didn't have this with none of them. So, and I'm saying that to reference how long the journey has been getting to this woman, getting to my woman, and how God's brought me, and it ain't been me. I mean, I was born a baby. We're all born babies. That'll let you know right there. It's not you. You know what I'm saying? God is bringing you up and raising you, and at a certain point, you get stronger and stronger. So, thank you, Father, for bringing me together, me and mine together. And okay, so I'll try to jump right into this meeting here. So a couple days, and that morning, I woke up and I was like, I felt like my woman was thinking that I was going out too much. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that. I felt like she felt like I was hanging out too much, like just hanging. And even though, and it might be, I doubt it. I doubt it, but it's not. I was gonna say it might be a doubt. It might be a guilty thing, but it's not. It's me being real and advancing in our relationship. So what I was gonna say was, when I'm hanging out, and I'll be around like a female sometime, and we'll be in like an intimate setting, not just me and her, but it'll be like, cause that ain't never gonna happen, but it'll be like, um, well, okay, yeah, it's a family setting, the intimate. Um, like I said, I'm not flirting, or I'm not a flirt or anything like that anymore. But one lady I used to know, that this my friend, um, well, let me see, it was me and my friend. I met her through my friend, and I don't even really know her, but we're all running around the street like in high school. You meet people and hang out. You eat lunch one day. You don't really know them, but it's like certain people and other people you just acquaint with. So she was like that, but she bought me some food, and it touched my emotion. I was happy about her offer to buy me food, and I was like, cool, yeah. And and before I let her, settle into the idea that I was happy, that she made me happy, I was like, hey, do you know a girl named, you know what I'm saying? And I brought up my woman, and she was like, whatever, yes or no. And I was telling her about my woman at that point. So it's like I wouldn't allow myself to let this girl, this female, think that it's her that makes me happy, because I was showing happiness at the point, at that point. And even, it, it but that happiness was, she touched on that happiness with the food. That's what I was trying to show. It wasn't her that was making me happy, and that's why I piped up about, you know you know what was closer to me. You know what I mean? What the line she was crossing. It's like when there we go. She was coming into my home, like into my home, and right when she walked in, I was like, "This is me in Savannah's house. Welcome. Come in." Like that's what I was saying, and I didn't want her to think that I was saying, "Well, come in. This is my house. Welcome to my house." No, you know what I'm saying? That's a perfect example. Thank you, Lord. Um, so I've been doing that a lot. It was one time this lady bought me food. That's what I was talking about. Then it was another time my buddy and another one of my buddies, and it was a girl there, And I was walking by and I seen those three sitting there, and I went up and joined my buddies, and it was happened to be a girl there. And right when we got cozy, and started smoking and relaxing a little bit, here I bring up my woman, and I'm like, I sing a song and put her name in, and then my buddies are like laughing about how much I'm in love, what I'm saying, type of stuff. So there, I'm saying it again, and it's excuse me, it's kind of the same effect of wearing a wedding ring. But so many people wear rings that are not married, and it's not serious or whatever. So it's like the same effect that a wedding ring should have. When someone shows up, people should get that. This is not one person here. This is another person I'm talking to, and them. You know, they're one. Um, so, um, so I felt like that about when I was gonna go there. I felt like I was popular, and she was having some doubts. Perfect, perfect. She was having doubts, and this was her time to doubt. You know what I mean? And and I was feeling it, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I kind of feel like, even though I know what I need to do, and I'm not tripping, I'm not begging Father to, show me Savannah, send me my baby, because I know the next thing I need to do is get this divorce, and I don't want to be tempted to, and for certain reasons, the premarital sex, all that, the whole nine, the whole anything that doesn't fall under holy matrimony, anything to make it a holy, more holy of a matrimony, and that's what the Father showed me. So I'm not like, where is she? Where is she? Even though like that's my yearning, my physical wants that. I'm getting out of that, and at this point I understand that. Like I said, what I need to do. So this morning I wake up and I'm popular. I'm getting that feeling, and I'm getting the feeling my baby has doubts because I have, my past around. This is my town. I've slept with a bunch of girls in the town. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I walk by girls I sleep with. Like I've slept with. Like I walk. I do that all the time. And so I felt like she was but we don't chat and stuff. But I'm just saying that's a reality. But she was I felt like she was having doubts. So I was like, I feel like that morning I was like, I feel like my girl's gonna show up. Like I feel like my girl's jealous, getting jealous a little bit, has doubts like that. Like I'm thinking about another girl, or maybe, what I'm saying, or not thinking about her. And in the I read this one article. This guy was saying guys have doubts that they're not strong enough to take care of the woman, and girls have doubts that they're not beautiful enough to attract the man that they want. So, and the woman that he wants. But so I was like, I feel like my girl's, you know, gonna get jealous. Uh, is getting jealous. Of me hanging out and being, this popular. And I was like, I kind of feel like she might show up today out of that jealousy. You know what I mean? And sure enough, um, I had a morning, and then in the afternoon, I was going to catch the bus because um, I was talking to my mom, and she had sent me some money, and so I went to the bus stop to go get the bus to the grocery store to get the money. And right when I walk up there, you know, there's this girl that's moving her body like it's a dude, and this brown jacket, and these black pants, and I'm farther away at this point, so I walk up closer and I check the time. I ignore everybody because that's what I do, and I handle my business. So I check the time and check the bus and all that. And I'm like, okay, this is where I need to be. So I go try to get where I need to be, and it's Savannah, and it's my woman, and she's down there where I need to be with another girl, and I think it's a dude down there, and they're all talking, and so I'm walking over there, and um, the bus that they need to catch pulls up, so the whole group starts walking towards the bus, towards me, because I'm walking from the direction the bus is coming from, and here she comes walking up to me, and I look up, and the girl she's walking next to smiles, like looks right in my eyes and smiles like, you're the one she's talking about, or you're the one she's been talking about, type of. I mean, that's my greatest hope. You're the one she's been talking about. Yeah, of course she's, yay, that's my greatest hope. But she was like, you're the one, basically. Whatever Savannah told her, I'm the one. That was like, here's the one, whether it's bad or whether she said, oh man, let me talk to this guy, or he'll trip, or I was even thinking she might have said, here's my ex, this, oh man, there's my ex coming, because that's another look that a girl will look up and smile like that too, at you, at a strange dude, because some girl told her something about him, so whatever she told her, she looked hard at me, and my head looked up, because I can tell when people are looking hard and sending that hard energy at me, that light, and she was smiling at me, so I was like, okay, whatever. And then I looked over at mine, and she was like, she always speaks first to me, and I appreciate that, that my insecurities appreciate that. She was like, hey, how you doing, And so we started talking. She might not have said that, but she said hey and some other stuff. And we started talking, and the first thing I noticed is, oh man, we're so real. It's like, she might have been thinking that I was happy to see her, you feel me? Yeah. And like I said, I was straight at that point. Like, I know I need to get a divorce next before I start hitting up my baby again, and jonesing for her, So I was straight on that. And then the brown jacket I'm talking about, I had an infatuation with this jacket, because I had a brown leather jacket. I have a brown leather jacket, and there was only another one. It was light. It was a brown leather jacket. It was 100% real Wilson leather, but it was the sport model. I had the leisure model, and it was a sport model that my homie had, and I was like, man, if he ever get rid of that, I want to get that. And like 2 months ago, I stopped seeing him wearing it, and I was like, I wonder where that freaking jacket is. For 2 months, I'm wondering this. You know what I'm saying? So it's the jacket mine has on. It's the jacket my girl has on as she's walking up to me, and I'm like, what the? and like truth be told, I was only going to get it for her anyway, and that's God. I praise God. That's the Father. That's heavenly. When something like that happens, I was jonesing to get the jacket, thinking about where it was at, without Savannah even knowing, and because I got the one I want on already, I was gonna get this and give it to her, and guess what? She already wearing it. She showed up in it, and she just got it. So, um, so when she's walking up to me, I see my sweetheart, you know, but I already know her. I'm like, that's my jacket. You know what I'm saying? I tell her that, like, I'm like, hey, how you doing right away? But then the next line I say is, that's my jacket, dude. And then she's like, this is my jacket. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I was like, this is mine. I've been looking for this jacket for months. I was like, kind of, where'd you get this, like, vibe, you know? And then she was like, you know, she blew me off. And then she was like, you know, I'm going to get the bus or whatever. Yeah, she was like, I'm going to get the bus. Um, um, yeah, so she probably thought that I was like gonna be sweating her, and I sweated her. I sweated her a little bit, but it was protocol. So it was like my heart wasn't in it. But my heart's in getting a divorce, but I wasn't really tripping, you know. But I was like, she was like, I'm going to this place because me and my friend had an argument. We're going to make up, and I'm going to check on them, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. She just like offered that, like she'll just, I can tell she thinks about me and like wants to tell me things, you know. And and like when we see each other, she has the opportunity to tell me, so she'll like say it, you know, like I can tell she thinks about, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this if this, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna do this, if, like plans like that ahead, because it won't fit what she'll say, you know, it won't blend in. It'll be like on a different plane, you know. It's like she's not with it emotionally, like connected. She's like on a different. She's like a bird, you know. She's like flying, and I'm like walking, you know. So it's like we touch each other and pet each other, but it's like, and she can see what I'm doing and feel me, but her feet aren't on the ground like mine are. Like I feel the vibrations of the earth and earthquakes shake. I feel that she don't. Um, so her actions are like, to me, they're like, when I look back on them, I can see clearly, but going through it, it feels like there's a disconnect, you know. So, you know, I didn't ask her where she was going, you know. She was like, I'm going to this place to meet a friend, you know. And she said it in a vibe like she got caught, you know, like I caught her going somewhere. It was probably a dude, and she had to, you know, she wanted to say it, you know what I'm saying? For I don't know, for her friend to hear, cause she's real, like the way she acts in public is like, for the record, she takes it important, you know. It's important to her, you know, the way she acts in public. And she does a lot of things for the public record, like I was saying, and it won't be a personal. It won't be personal, you know, to me. You know, she'll talk to me as a public figure. You know, it's like if you were dating a celebrity, you know, and you could tell that people were watching them, but you could also tell that they love you. You know, so it's like they're watching people watch them, and they're loving you, but you know, it's not just loving you. It's more that they're dealing with, so it's weird, you know. So that's what I'm trying to say, and I can relate. I can relate. But so she was like, you know, for some reason we start walking, and I was like, hey, you know, can I take you out sometime? And that was the protocol part, because she was like, I'm going here, and I was like, not listening to her, like she wasn't listening to me, and it was like, I mean, we were, but not really. We were like happy to see each other, really, but it was like we were just, you know, putting on, and so for the public, you know, and I was like, you know, okay, well, um, can I take you out sometime, you know, maybe for a coffee or something like that? And then she held up the coffee she had. She was like, I have a coffee right here. And And then when she said the part about I'm going to this place to make up, and then I was like, whatever. No, 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 no. I was like, can I take you out? And she was like, it was something. It was something that I said, and I got close, and I got too close to her. Not really, but I got close to a point, and then she turned her head, and I know she did this on purpose. She showed me that she was wearing the earring that I gave her in the set, like I bought a new gold hoop, and you know they come in sets of two. You know where you have two, you buy one set and there's two earrings in it. So I put one in my left ear, and I put the other one in a bag that I gave to my girl. And when I seen her at the bus stop, she showed me that she was wearing it, and that was like I gave it to her, and then 2 days later, she showed me she was wearing it, and looking good too, and that's what I was gonna say. Um, this was her thing about her being jealous, and it was her turn to be jealous, and go through her doubts like I went through my doubts and stuff like that. So it was like, when she walked up to me, you know, I was straight, but she was there like I thought that morning, you know, out of jealousy. She wanted to be dolled up, makeup, hair looking right, clothes, you know, smelling good, and for me to see, you know, and to wave it all in my face, with the earring on that I gave her and showing me, and being like, I'm being good. I'm going here for this. I'm not going to do this with nobody. And I'm like, let me take you out. And she's like, she's like, I'm rolling alone. It's like, let me date you. She's like, I'm by myself. I'm not dating kind of energy. And so people were looking around, and I was sweating her. Let me take you out. What's up? Type of stuff like that. But that was all protocol. I was just happy to see her face, and she needed to brush her teeth. Yeah, I see you ate some Cheetos or something. You had orange stuff on the bottom of your bottom teeth. All right, so let me see here. Uh, where was I? Okay. Yeah, so I'm like totally confident at this point. So I'm like, that's my jacket, and I'm not like, hey, how you been? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, take my jacket off right when I see her. Oh wow, that's funny. So yeah, uh so she's saying this, and then I'm asking to go out with her, and she's turning me down, Okay, and the twin flame part is that she's wearing the freaking jacket that I've been thinking about getting her for months. And she shows up in that. The other part, she shows up in the earring that I gave her as a gift because we was in the cafeteria, and I bought a hat, and this hat had an accessory to it. I found a gold cross, and I had the other earring to the set, and I put them all in the bag, and I gave it to my baby when I seen her in the cafeteria that day. And so a couple of days later, she showed me she was wearing an earring. She had the jacket on, and that morning I was like, I feel like she's gonna show up out of jealousy, and she was looking real good, from head to toe. You know, came up and talked to me first. We was having a loud ass. Excuse me, father. We was having a loud conversation in front of everybody, and it was me. It was me. I was the dude. And oh yeah, and she was like, oh yeah, and this was another thing I remember. I know that I passed. I felt bad, because I was getting shot down. Let me take you out. No, blah blah blah. I'm single. Whatever. I got my coffee. Whatever. But I was supposed to let her go and get on that bus and leave without me, and that's what I did. I was catching one bus, and they were catching a different bus, and as uh, as I was following her, talking to her, she was like, "So are you getting on this bus? Are you gonna get on or with me? Like with us and go with us, and we can talk some more on the way where I'm going." And I was like, because she was offering, you feel me? She was offering, but she was supposed to offer in a clean way to where I could say, sure, or yeah, and do it. But I was supposed to say no, and I did right, because I was going to do something with my mother. I mean, to go get some money from that my mother was sending, and I wasn't going where they were going. And she said, "So are you getting on the bus?" And I was like, I didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because it was totally like she just had to ask, but I was like, okay, I'm letting you go. You know what I'm saying? I see you. I see you trying to be single. You know what I'm saying? And act like you not don't love me. And I mean, not don't love me, but act like I'm your ex. You treat me like I'm your ex, big time. And and I guess that turns girls on now that I think about it. Hooking up with your ex again, getting back with them. We're back together or whatever. But nonetheless, I'm just wishing out loud because she might not even reference me like that. There's the doubts, but I hope so in the best way. Um, um, and I don't even want to be an ex, but I don't know. I just want to be cool to her. But so what I was supposed to see her do her jealous thing and let her go and not chase her. And I did. I let them get on the bus and I walked over to my bus stop and everybody got on and they left. And and that and I was feeling it looked like I fell. I was trying to take her out and getting shot down, but I did what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to show up, see her, say hi. I would have got an A. I got a C. So like I passed and I let her go. I did. I passed because I let her go, and I wasn't like, "Where you going? Who you going to see?" That would have been failing. You know what I mean? Or a D. If I was like, "Where you going?" That would have been a D. If I was like, "Who you going to see?" That would have been like a F. But I didn't do that. I got a C though because I sweated her, and if I would have wanted to get a B, I wouldn't have sweated her. I would have tried to have some laughs with her or some good conversation. I would have had the conversations to make her laugh if I had would have got a B, right? I would have entertained her. And an A would have mean if I was so confident and so strong that I made her feel happy to see me and that she seen me and I made her heart warm, you know, to where she wanted to give me a hug before she seen me. And she would have been like, okay, well, I'll see you. Let's hug. Like if she would have covered it up with some friendly stuff or whatever, but she would have wanted to touch me before she left, and she didn't want to do that. So it's like I got to see, but I felt like I didn't pass, but I did. You feel me? So I did well enough, and that's my area. You know what I mean? That I need to work on is is I need to grow more to where I can have my own life and I can let her have her own life and we can share our life together. And versus saying, I don't want to build my own life. I want to build a life with you. It's like, well, I want my own life, and one with you too. So, you know, and that's an independent and a dependent thing. So I'm still dependent right now to a fault, but I'm getting more independent. And so that's what I'm working on. But if I was very independent, my mind would already acknowledge that we're not in a public open, in a publicized relationship. We're not married. So don't treat her like you own her. Don't treat her like these things like that. You know, uh, trust her, stuff like that. So um, if I would have been all the way awake, I would have accepted that we're not together, and I would have made the most of that meeting, and I didn't. You know, so that's why I got to see, um, because I didn't appreciate. I didn't value. I was totally arrogant. I was arrogant, but I was totally confident, in my own journey with her, you know, and that's what allowed me to get that C. But it was like if I would have been thinking about her more and up on my stuff, we would have had a better time, you know. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it, and that's why it's so important, remind everybody that's on this twin flame journey to always be becoming closer to God and to becoming a better person, because your twin flame is going to use that energy and needs it, for you to be good and great. And so, and that was something else, I could tell that she was using my energy, whether she was in my town or she was telling herself she was committed to me in her own mind. But from when she first showed up off the bus, and then I seen her this past recent time, she had grown a lot. She had gotten a lot stronger. Like her clothes were a lot better. Her head was up higher, you know what I mean? So she looked like my woman, and she looked like she belonged with me. Like we were she was at work and I seen her on lunch or something, and then she went back with her girl to work. And I was like, all right, see you, whatever. And so stuff like that. So, and we weren't in the best way, we were together, but it was like we were working on things, getting closer, She was working on things and stuff like that. That's how it looked, you know. Um, that's how I took it, and that's how she acted too. And that was so sweet too, because I didn't ask her where she was going, but she told me in a way that a girlfriend would, like, don't ask where I'm going. This is where I'm going, don't get mad. She was very, like, afraid, and that's sexy, you know what I mean? She was like afraid to, she would probably never admit it, but she was like, I was like, hey, how you doing? She was like, hey, I'm doing good. I'm going over here to do this. It wasn't with me, so it was like, why are you telling me? It was like she was caught, she was like, I don't want to make you upset energy. And that's, I like that, That, not that I like it, but men like that because it shows order. It shows respect, you know what I mean? So let me see where I'm at in the story. So I let her go, and that was good. It wasn't with flying colors. Um, um, the jacket, the earring, more confirmations. Oh yeah, yeah. And right before she said, "Are you getting on the bus?" I was like, "All right." I was like, just after she was saying, "No, I'm single," I'm not single, but like, "No, I'm solo. You can't take me out. I have coffee already." I was like, "Well, will you think about it?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll think about it." And I was like, "All right, tell me how much you love me, and I'll leave you alone." You know what I'm saying? And it was a dude right there that was my buddy, but he was not talking to me like we were. He was like not saying, "Hey, kid, how's it going?" And I was talking to a lady, but he could have looked up at least. It wasn't that big a deal. I mean, he thought I was probably trying to get her, but I already knew her. So nonetheless, um, she said she'll think about it, and I was like, "All right." I was like, "Tell me how much you love me, and I'll leave you alone." And then she started laughing a little bit. She was like, "Tell you how much I love you." And I was looking at her like, you know, here's my chance to get a D. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. But then it was like, we started laughing a little bit, and I let her go, and then she asked me, was I getting on the bus? I think, yeah. So that's that. That's my update. I said a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. But if you are in the twin flame scenario, continue to ask for your confirmations and continue to get that confidence and believe. Believe what you've already been confirmed to believe, and it's cool. It's okay because you're right. You know, it's not just something you want, it's something that's true. It's something that's true. So, um, I think that's everything I want to say. Uh, so, I'll probably try to do an update. Yeah, because this one was kind of like just to help other people, you know, and be like, oh, well, I seen them and this and that, and uh, um, what happened? We're not together, that basic stuff versus this more intricate, this more complex love on all levels. And I was mad when she left. I was mad when she left, um, and got on the bus, and I went where I was going. I was mad, you know what I mean? And but I knew within me that that's something that was a fault of mine. You know what I'm saying? To be mad like that just because I couldn't have her next to me. You know, just like doing where I'm going, doing what I'm doing, and she didn't want me next to her. She wasn't like, "Hey, come with me." You know what I'm saying? I was mad because that wasn't the reality. But I need to work on that. So, because I understood, the greater picture. So, but that's how passionate I am, you know what I'm saying, about her. To be mad like that and know that, and to deal with that and not let it come out, because I know not to. I know it don't need to come out, but I know it's there. And that's kind of passion too, like when we do get into bed or do this, it's gonna all come out. So, um, but yeah. All right, that's enough. And everybody have a good day and good luck on your twin flame journeys and one love and respect. All right, peace. This is Jose Ken, American Film Star 420, coming to you live from the PNWC, from the Kentone Studios.